What is done in Vegas stays in Vegas. That is how the American culture displays how the situations back there happens. It is because many of the people that are there, how they do things, it's contrary to how things are supposed to be done. Because there's a certain pleasure, a certain way of doing things that people long to satisfy their feelings and satisfy what they're looking for. The aim of humanity is to make sure they reach that peak. And that is why when it comes to sexual pleasure, there's a certain urge to satisfy yourself. When it comes to financial contentment, not everyone is contented. Even the most of the billionaires we have, they're still in the verge of trying to seek for money. And now it comes to the point of getting involved with this person that has come into your life. This person that you barely know, he or she comes into your life as a spouse, and you desire to be with this person to enjoy the benefits that are there in relationships. But the most unfortunate thing is that you don't know this person. You've never met this person. You just met them the other day, and you feel deep within that you really want to share your whole world, your whole life with this person. But the question is, how do you get to know this very person? What are the principles? What are the things that you need to check in order you can be able to see that this person fits the requirements or fits to be that person that you really want to share your life with? That is where most of us make the mistake of trying to choose the right partner. Because we tend to think that just because someone is beautiful, someone is, attractive and all that, they are meant to be with us. Beauty fades, and beauty at the end of the day can make someone lose who they are. And that is why there's a verse in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs chapter 31, I think the last verse of that chapter. Beauty and charm is deceptive, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So you have to be careful in choosing this very person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Because not everyone who is beautiful, not everyone who is handsome fits to be a wife or a husband. Because the decision that requires for you to enjoy the benefits of being in marriage are not dependent on how beautiful someone is or how handsome someone is. Those are just additionals. And I'm not trying to say that the world has ugly people, because beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And it's important for each one of us to understand that the design God created each one of us is to fulfill his mandate here on earth. So for you as a human being, you have to ensure that the very things that you're bringing on the table fits in making sure that the relationship has all that is required to make it better and to make it right. You cannot choose to be with someone but just for a moment. You have to ensure that you're with this person for the rest of your life, because it takes the rest of your life to be with this person. Why do people cheat? People cheat because of their own selfish desires. Someone wants to satisfy how they feel, and they want to do it with someone else, someone different, because they're used to their partners. This man feels like my wife, she's still the same. My husband is still the same. And that is why people go out there and cheat. Others cheat for revenge. Others cheat because they think they have to do it because They want to make the other person feel like, you don't deserve me. But at the end of the day, you're only sinning against your own self. There's a verse in the Bible that says that the sins of the flesh are the sins against yourself. I'm paraphrasing. The beauty of being in a relationship is finding a human being that is willing to commit, a human being that is willing to bring the best from you, to just not just to come and take from you, but to ensure that you have this beauty that no one does. Let's talk about people who have multiple partners. Look at what happens in our society. There are people who have multiple partners, and they think having this person in their life is basically a way of trying to bring something that is so different. But have you ever noticed that people who have multiple partners, most of these people, if you look at them, they appear to be somehow poor. I'm not talking about physical poverty. I'm talking about spiritual poverty and emotional poverty. And it manifests itself from the outside. You find that these people are always struggling with something because they're trying to bring in something into their life that does not fit into the reality that is. And it is important when you get into a relationship and you want to achieve something that is great, that is beautiful, you have to be intentional with that very person. I know people say that it is women who give up so easily in relationships. It is women who are always giving up on love very quickly. But the question is this: before you got into that relationship, you have to ask yourself, why did you get into it? Did you just get into it just to have fun and then at the end of the day it's over? You have to remember that relationships have ups and downs. Relationships have all sorts of things. And it is for you to be intentional, to make things right. It doesn't matter. Whatever they do, whatever you do, whatever your partner goes to the extent of, doing that thing that you don't like, you have to ensure that you are there to make things right. You are there to stand by that person and say, you know what? I am here and I have to do what is right. So take the initiative today, because having multiple partners does not help. And being a woman and people saying that it is women who give up easily, you have to be intentional as a woman, because relationships are not based on feelings. They are based on choices, the decision you make. That is why boys marry for love and sex, but men marry for love and companionship. You have to understand that very point, because there is nothing in marriage. Marriage is a place where two people come together by understanding that they bring who they are, they bring their personalities, they bring their ideas, they bring those things that you could ever ask for. Because every relationship that you see is based on decision making. And that is why those people who have decided, most of them, a bigger percentage, or maybe let me say a smaller percentage, those people who've made a decision to be there, those relationships do last, because the decisions are not based on feelings. And that is why you see many people are losing themselves in marriages. They are losing their marriages, they're divorcing, because these people, they made decisions based on feelings, based on how someone is, their beauty, how handsome someone is, how well built that man is, and how financially stable that person is, because they did not see that one day money can end, money can get finished up and all that. So it's important for you to understand that getting into a relationship requires a decision that is not feelings oriented. It is not an emotional decision that you make, but a decision that comes from the deepest part of your heart. and realizing that every relationship is God ordained, because relationships began with God. So it is for you to take that responsibility to put your best foot forward so that you can be able, you can be able to achieve the goal that is for the betterment of that relationship.